It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video. So I saw this hot takes thread and I saw two takes in here that were like so scorching hot that I kind of just wanted to make a video on it because I think it is worth the discussion. This hot takes thread was made by 3 people. I'm gonna go ahead and link it down in the comments below though. But let's go ahead and hop right into it. 2021 is one of, if not the best year for Dokkan. 6th anniversary basically demonstrated the standard of what a major celebration should be. The beginning of the version Z updates, 2 new Legendary Goku events, Golden Week on both versions, Revive Mechanic nullifications, the beginning of LR and category lead EZAs, Rainbow tickets, etc. It also had a great character picks for each premium unit, and every 2R was a hit. It's very similar to 2026 in the sense that everyone was good. The only thing that holds it back was a few yellow coin LRs, stinkers like Super 17. That's the thing, right? And I kind of pulled this up ahead of time, but I think 2026 easily is one of my favorite years as well, especially because of this event. Having it where it's kind of like a more difficult version, I guess you could say, of Red Zone, where it was like even the beginning stages could truly kick your ass. And because each fight had like its own gimmick to it, it's not like you can just run the exact same team every single time and expect to win every single time, unless it was like, oh, I'm using representatives of Universe 7, you know, and even then it had to still use a little bit of luck to it, right? But I like that, like every single fight being a little bit different. On top of that, the Legendary Goku event stages made it where it's like, okay, we have long content if you want the long content, we have short content if you want the short content. Rewards wise, it was also really good because up until that point we had this, which was like the 5th anniversary did like the special ticket summon that gave you 55 units, but then the 6th year anniversary actually gave us the rainbow tickets, which I could go back and try to look for it while I explain this. But the 6th year anniversary had the start of the rainbow tickets that you can use the tickets on the part 2 banners or the part 1 banners. We could just kind of look at it through, no, I gotta keep going back. But yeah, like that hadn't happened up until that point, right? Like I believe 6th year anniversary was the start of that. We're getting closer. Was it right here? Nah, I'll pause and I'll come back to it. Okay, I believe it was actually during part 3, but the thing is, right, I don't know why it just doesn't show up. I checked both databases and I just cannot find this is not the same thing. Like this was just like the extra like global exclusive, you know, tickets that you got. This is not what that was, and I don't know why it just didn't show up, right? But they had it where like the rainbow tickets would copy the 3 anniversary banners. So it was AGLUI, it was the Int Mod, or I almost said Int Mod Vegeta, Int Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, and then it was the Golden Frieza and the 17 banner. And it's like I like, this was awesome. Even though it was part 3, this is the reason why I got I believe my first copy of 17 and Golden Frieza. Oh yeah, and then the Team Universe 7 LR was also on it too. But like the fact that that happened and like they just gave you so many tickets for this banner was actually insane, right? Like up until that point we never had something like that, and it was just awesome. So I like, if you want to say that 2021 was your favorite year, that's entirely fine. I think that it's easily one of my favorite years as well. Attacks guaranteed to hit is the most overlooked and underrated ability right now, and it can and has saved runs against 3Ku and Godku. A very nice bonus for units like AGO Godku and Nap Vegeta, who can already take 3 bars of health off of an enemy. I don't really see people talk about that mechanic, so I could say that I could like agree that it is overlooked maybe a little bit more than it should be, right? Because the thing is, right, is that when they drop those when they continuously drop events that have dodging on the enemy, just being able to hit the enemy guaranteed takes out that risk factor, you know? So I completely understand. I totally forgot where it was that he got it, but it's with the active skill, right? That I believe. Yeah. Attacks guaranteed to hit. So again, it's like stuff like that matters. It definitely does. I don't think that it's not like an, I'm trying to think. It's not like a make or break on a character for sure, and I think it's like a little added bonus. I don't think it's something that is like entirely crucial or like like I said, it's more like a cherry on top than like a thing that I'm like actively looking out for some of these characters. But it is like an actual thing that gets used. So I agree. Oh boy. The fours have more than one argument to be above Majin Vegeta plus Goku, starting with the team being way less restrictive, more consistent in tanking, higher damage peak, and better support. You could also gain more value from both sides, whereas with Majin Vegeta plus Goku, you're stuck with one most of the time. The "oh, but fours need orb changers" argument is senseless when their team allows you to bring orb changers anyways. Plus, you only need 2 orb changers if you want both as slot 1. With the rotation where one of the fours isn't slot 1, you should be good. See, I would agree with this take a lot more if it had like the greater than or like equal sign, or even if you wanted to say that they're kind of like equal to each other. I think outright saying that the fours are better is like, honestly, it's just wrong. Because the thing, right, is even at this where it's like, oh, but you're stuck with one most of the time, it honestly is just dependent on orbs. Like, you can just make the same argument for the fours, right, where it's like, oh, well, you know, they can look really good with the orbs. So it's the same thing with the Majin Vegeta plus the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, right? Like, they both can look very, very dominant. Hold on, I gotta like bring up the other one. There it is. They both can look pretty dominant, and it's like, I think this is less of like a restriction, and this is more so like, I'm trying to think of like how to word this. I guess I shouldn't say that it's less of a restriction, because it is definitely a restriction, but it's more so like, I almost never like worry about this like at all. You're building the team around that, but again, it's like the same thing with the Super Saiyan 4s. The Super Saiyan 4s, they could look so good and so dominant, but it's like, again, you genuinely need those Rainbow Keysters or you just kind of explode. You need the 4, which is an insane thing to ask. And units like Tech Pan can really help this unit out, but it's like Tech Pan is like a floater, so it kind of hurts in that regard. But even still, like, I'm actually like a big just like fan of the 4s. I know that a lot of people don't like them, but it's like, this being guaranteed AGL and physical, I feel like has helped me out more times than not. And this first turn, it's almost always guaranteed that you're getting 4 Rainbow Keysters. So turn 1, this unit has so much damage reduction. They have the guaranteed guard. They're getting so many super attacks. The EX super attack can be a little annoying. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think like a single person likes EX super attacks. Having it where this is, again, a very easy condition, but it's like, this fails me more times than not, right? But I do like the effect a lot, right? Like, again, I am a big, like, I love this unit, but it's like, I think if you're going to try to gas up the 4s, I think you gotta park that or start using those brakes the second you start getting into this unit. You gotta calm those like expectations, dude. You got at bare minimum, or sorry, not bare minimum. At max, you could say that they're equal. If you say that, like that, it's like fours are better. I don't know if I could really agree with that. Because like again, if you're building your teams around this character, which I feel like most of the time it's like you're running an extreme class or a super class team. So at that point, you're already going to have one of these conditions filled out anyways. Whether it's between the Vegeta or it's between the Goku, you're just going to have this condition filled out regardless. At least me personally, I don't really feel... I don't really go out of my way to like mix and match teams anymore. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go like super class or I'm going to go extreme class. I'm not really going like, okay, let me like do 3 super class and like 4 extreme, right? Like I feel like, to me, I like these conditions more where it's like, okay, second I get like 4 super class units, boom, I get literally every single one of the key and just like status effects that I would also need, right? So I don't know, that this is getting these conditions is a lot more free than the in Super Saiyan 4s, because the in Super Saiyan 4s are all RNG. This is like, did you build your team correctly? Did you build your team around this guy? And it's not even a thing of like, oh well, I build my team around this guy and then like he's not doing anything, he's not worth the team build. Like, he is worth the team build. He's worth the amount of effort that you're putting into this character, right? Because he's getting so much damage reduction. He's having it where he's doing an insane attack stat. And sure, I think like the in Super Saiyan 4s might be able to stack a small bit faster, but that doesn't matter when this character 90% of the time is doing outright more damage. Like at least from my experience, it's just like that, right? And the active skill is so good, but it's like I probably favor the 4's active skill a little bit more, because when you pop this, it's like so much damage, not only to the enemy, but it's just so much support that you're giving as well. So yeah, that's another reason why I feel like 4s are a little bit underrated right now, is because of that active skill. But I can't. You can't twist my arm hard enough to say that Majin Vegeta is worse than 4s. I don't think. I can't agree. I'm sorry. I mean, like, yeah, but like you can do this with anyone. You can post screenshots of any team and be like, look guys, I won, and it's like 3,000 times that you've attempted, right? Sorry, my mic cut out. But like, you can make unconventional teams work. I'm not saying this as like a downplay. I'm just saying like this isn't really like make me believe that this is right, you know? Like you could easily do this with the Majin Vegeta's team as well, I feel like. S tier Whis is not a top 10 TUR. No unit that can't comfortably tank normals during any phase of the fight is not top 10 on any list not named top 10 normal victims. Debuffing in physical phases allow him to not die from them early on, but it's not acceptable when all these TURs tank normals, gap him in damage, have team protectors, etc. And he's the guy who can dodge like everybody on his category and give support, especially when units like Beerus perform his role as a safe slot 1 better anyways. See, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like S tier Whis is definitely very good, but at the same time, it's like you have to obviously rely on the dodge, which is, it's very good with the 70%. And then if you're running Beerus as well, it's that extra percentage as well. And then you could get the extra dodge chance if it's a Realm of God's enemy. And then like at that point, when it's all those conditions, you have, I think it's like 90% dodge chance. And then you also just have to dodge twice and then you just get it for free. But it's like, you have to rely on that Realm of God's enemy. And then if it's not, then it's an 80%. And then you have to dodge 4 times for it to be guaranteed, and yada, 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 right? But the thing is that like the support is really nice. And I do like that you're able to heal at the end of the turn and foresee where the enemy's super attack is, and dodge it guaranteed for the first time that it's launched at the character. So to me, this is more so like a gimmick unit, I guess you could say, where it's like, if I'm desperately knowing that, or desperately needing a unit that can dodge, that I know that like no other unit can comfortably survive, I'll run S tier Whis, because I know at the bare minimum that first super attack is just completely nullified, and any attacks that happen that turn is just completely nullified against this character. And then on top of that, for the next turn, you're also just giving this monstrous support on top of the support that you're giving for that first turn, as long as you're running a Beerus. But we have a good Beerus right now. Like, S tier Whis is good, but it's like I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I don't find myself like, I don't know if I have Whis in my top 10 either. But that might just be because it's like a fun factor thing, right? Like, I don't know. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta was never a top 3 TUR. He had a significantly worse team than the top 3, way worse defensively than World Tournament Goku, less flexible than Godku, and did less damage than Piccolo Jr. Vegeta was a great all-arounder, to be fair, and if things go your way, he was top tier, but running a mid-team just to take advantage of his full passive never made him top 3. I actually haven't used Vegito in the longest time. Probably since like, well, what, like 5-ish months after he came out. What was his thing again? I mean, wasn't Giant Ape Power like an actual usable team at the time? Am I crazy? I guess, never mind. Who, Super Saiyan 4 Puku was there. That's the only unit you could run. But I mean, like, I get it. And it's funny because I remember when Limit Breaker Vegito, I remember seeing some people use him next to the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and it was funny seeing him like have that like resurgence in a sense. But the thing is that like AGL Limit Breaker Vegito next to physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito was like one of the most reliable rotations in the entire game, I would say. So I consider him top 3. Yeah, I don't know. But like the issue is, it's like I get it, because the issue is that like you have to run either, whoops, you have to run either Giant Ape Power, which didn't have like monstrous buffs until like a little bit later, and then you had to run the 3 crossover characters in the same turn. And it's like, I get it. I get that. Like, crossover is always just like a category that's just like, it's kind of mid. It gets that big boost and then it like just dies, right? But again, he comfortably tanked so much. He had so much damage that he was doing. The active skill was also really, really nice. And when all of your attacks became crits, like he was just really good. He did have a really fast lifespan though. And the reason why was because of the fact that crossover is a character, is like as a category, is just buffed once and then dies. So he easily had the worst aging out of all of the other TURs. So I guess, yeah, if you want to say that Vegito was worse because of the fact that he like aged insanely fast compared to the others, then I guess that's fine, you know, because you still had World Tournament Goku, Godku, and even Piccolo Jr. that you would use on your team. Despite Super Saiyan 3 being a pretty good unit, he is not better than our previous bottom 10 EZAs. Pan is much better providing... Oh, wait, hold on. Is it... Oh, okay. When I saw Super Saiyan 3, I thought it was talking about AGL, like AGL Super Saiyan 3 into 4. Pan is much better, providing multi-turn support and being capable of taking slot 1 in 3 out of 4 fights. Giving extra support with her action and debuffs, she is decisive against Cellmax and Triku, and she also helps against in phase of Super Saiyan 3 and Godku. And in the other hand, Godku has one of the strongest supports, good stacking and almost the same dodge, better teams, and can match Super Saiyan 3 in damage under Power of Wishes lead or ROG make this 2 more valuable. I don't know. Maybe I can kind of agree. Like Tech Pan and Physical Godku are just like staples on their team. While I don't know if I could really say that for 3Q. That's not to say that he's bad or even mid. He's really good. But it's like, I don't know. The others are just doing so much more, I feel like. Tech Super Vegeto's animations were a complete miss. Don't get me wrong, his active skill looks amazing, but I never understood why did that when he does so much cooler attacks in both the anime and manga, and even the games that they could have referenced instead. Goku and Vegeta's animations were fine and standard, while Vegeta's super is just a generic Kamehameha. I understand why they did it for why they did it for Super Gogeta and AGO Gogeta 4 too, since the references are much more limited, but they did not need to do that for Vegito. Tonki's fan-made animations for Super Vegito are flat out. I think I saw that, like the fan-made Super Vegito animations. They did look really good. And more hype, in my opinion, since it actually references the hype moments from his fight. I hope they don't fill up Namek, Goku, and Frieza's animations with Dokkan originals, because they just do too many cool things in the fight for Dokkan not to use it. That's the only thing I'm like a little bit worried about with Dokkan originals, is that like we keep seeing the moments used from other characters that like don't need to be used for that character. Like UI Goku, for example, is the fact that he references Super Saiyan Goku's like beam blast cool? Fuck yeah. But Super Saiyan Goku should just have that, right? And UI Goku has so many moments that just weren't entirely used yet that I think going Dokkan original for or pulling references from other moments was kind of like a bad thing, I would say. At least that's kind of like how I see it, right? I'm not saying that Dokkan original animations are a bad thing. I think that they are awesome and I like seeing them every single time, but I also get the frustration of like, why didn't you do Vegito moments for Vegito? Why did you like make up moments, or why did you pull references from other things? I'm also not a big fan of Tech Vegito's animations when it comes to the actual Kamehameha as well, because at the end of the day, I figured it wasn't gonna pull up like that. Is it gonna pull up like this? Yeah. I'm also a person who understands this, because like at the same time, it's his only animation. He only has that 18 key, right? Like he doesn't have anything else, or I guess the 12 key. He only has that ultra super attack, and the ultra super attack itself, it's just like, it's cool. It's not like as, you know, it's again just like another generic, I guess, Kamehameha, right? Like the animation itself, I think, is really well done, but the moment itself, it's like, why are we going back to Kamehamehas, right? Like that's not, I feel like there could have been other things as well. The way that I kind of see it though is that Goku's and Vegeta's animations took up too much, and it's the reason why I'm also just like a little worried, I guess, of tag animation some of the times, because like when they do tag units, they obviously have to put 2 times the amount of effort into character passives and character animations, and 2 times the amount of effort into that. So it's like Super Saiyan 3 Goku is, or well, Super Saiyan Goku, who turns Super Saiyan 3 Goku for this animation, looks so cool and so awesome. And then it's like, it probably took away some of the budget for Vegito, because guess what? They have to do 4 of these animations, 2 of them being the animations for Goku, 2 of them being the animations for Vegeta. The actual like tag animation, when you're able to do the tag popping up, the animation for Vegeta's active skill, the animation for Goku's active skill. And I think that we could easily tell that they have decided, hey, maybe let's cut back on that, because we've seen these new units like tech, or not tech, physical Majin Vegeta, for example, who pops out, and then guess what? They learned from their mistake. They didn't give Majin Vegeta active skill. What they did instead is they gave Goku and Vegeta the active skill, and then made it where it included both units in the actual active skill itself, right? Like, I think that easily was a reason why that they didn't make it where it's active skills for both characters. They went all out for 10th year anniversary. They were like, okay, we can see now that we probably shouldn't do this. And then they, stopped doing that. Like, let me look at it, right? Is there any other character that has dropped that is like active skills for both parts? Like, physical UI is another character that I think, again, it's the reason why they just didn't do that. We have it where we got the 12 key, we got the 18 key, we got the EX super attack. Okay, they do the 3 animations. Then Goku doesn't get the active skill. So you know who does get the active skill? Vegeta, because again, you got the tag animation, you have the 12 and 18 key for this guy, but then instead of getting the units, or I keep saying unit super attack, instead of getting the EX super attack, you get the active skill, and then that's his thing that he gets, right? So they get 6 attacks total. And it's the same thing with the in Super Saiyan 4s. They did the exact same thing where it's, okay, Vegeta gets the 12 key, he gets the 18 key, he gets the EX super attack, and that's it. Goku, on the other hand, he gets the 12 key, he gets the 18 key, and then he gets the active skill instead of the EX super attack. Like, I think that is a reason why that these characters like have, in my opinion, better animations than something like Vegito, for example, because of the fact that like they know that they can't do that, where it's like they're giving these active skill animations and EX super attacks and swaps and all of this to every single portion of the kit. Like, no, they can't have it where it's like that every single time. They learn their mistakes, because then they have to cut back on something and then it looks bad, or it looks not as good as it should be. So I'll give that a like. I'm actually curious, what do people say about that? Let's check. Seeing some of his cool shit used on a temporary fusion would have sucked for me. I appreciate them saving for when they get a transforming or standalone Super Vegito. You know what? Fine, that's fine. Completely agree. This is so real, because I always hated that his head shifted in his 18 key. Also, why is it so short? To be fair, they did reference Kakarot, and part of which we needed in Dokkan, in my opinion. I can never complain about sick ass Dokkan originals, even when there's more stuff to reference from the anime or manga. I get the complaint about the Kamehameha, but it's so very obvious they wanted to match Vegito and Gogeta here, so I don't really mind it. Plus, Vegito is going to get some... Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. They made it where it's like Vegito and Gogeta are doing this exact same thing, but stupid still, methinks. It is why they locked in on the actual animations with the active skills, though, easily. Ain't Daima may be in top 10 TUR lists. He can slot one with less than 10% chance of being hit, tank all normals, and get support plus debuffing from Goma and Glorio. He can even live into Triku Super Turn 1 if the 90% dodge fails. The biggest factor in fast kills with Esther Daima Team are his actives, which let Daima Forku hit damage cap without needed previous turn stack. Daima Vegeta does great damage and doesn't need to worry about Super Sinks to Goma. In most runs, he has no chance of dying except turn 1 Super, which has a 90% chance to dodge. I think that I would probably say no. Like, Daima Goku, I think, is really nice in the fact that he has the attack support that's multiple turns, his 90% dodge chance to turn 1. I think he has 50% damage reduction on turn 1 as well. But then after that point, it's like he just gets a lot worse, right? Because he loses a decent amount of the dodge chance, and then he loses a decent amount of damage reduction. So it's like, yeah, 30%. Yeah. I don't know. I want to say no, though. Because I do think that, like, the other TURs are doing so much more versus, like, this guy that I don't think I can comfortably call him a top 10 TUR. Unless we're being, like, hyper specific and being like, oh, no easy A's included. And even then, I don't know. I probably want to say no, though. When we are crafting a rotation, people tend to forget that a rotation is made up of 3 units. Your rotation should always consider your floaters, not only the damage. That's why units like Godku, Beerus, Deborah, Metal Cooler, Super Saiyan 3, Daima, Ulton, etc. raise your whole team's rotation survival and damage. Godku saves you as a mortal turn, boosting the whole rotation's attack and defense by 60% and giving an additional 14% extra chance of surviving. Beerus provides 90 support. Deborah brings taunt and damage. Ulton offers tons of support and slot 1. Metal Cooler adds giant form and support. Super Saiyan 3 is an immortal slot 1 or slot 3. This defines a gap between the units who do everything and more, and the rest is who only cover a single slot. Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, I feel like a lot of the top 1 units, or even a lot of just the newer TURs, they all have some sort of team protector mechanic, right? And it's the reason why every single one of them could just be so dominant and so good is because of that, or a team support mechanic. Even Physical God Goku has the dodge, but he's also giving, like, monster support, right? Beerus is giving monster support. Agil Godku has the revive. Like, how I'm just kind of repeating everything that this take was saying, but, like, yeah, I think that is the reason why that some of these TURs I feel like can also just get overlooked, and people are always going to want to put, like, LRs, but at the end of the day, it's like you got to put some of these TURs in here as well, because they can have some crazy ass mechanics, bro. Some crazy ass mechanics. Like, even if you don't like Godku, you just run him because of the fact that he's giving such a good revive. Like, it's just the freest revive condition of all time, right? I think that is I think this is hashtag true. Crit is the most useful hidden potential ability of today. Reducing the RNG needed to win faster is helpful, considering we have multiple bosses that build up to get stronger as the fight progresses. In fact, each of the Goku fights has a phase or 2 like that. Dodge is not typically needed for adequate teams due to support access, team protection, and debuffable bosses. I want to say no. Because the thing is, like, every single character at this point has crits of some type, or it's like a rare thing for the character not to have crits. Daima Forku obviously has crits. Daima Vegeta has he specifically has crits when he's performing the super attacks, but then it's like, sorry, I had to pause for a second. But because he's performing so many super attacks in battle, and then he's getting that additional super attack, he's giving all the allies 50% crits, right? And it's also a thing of like, most of these characters that even just don't have crits also have type effectiveness. And I think the jump from type effective to crit isn't enough not in every single situation, but like most of the time, not enough to really care, you know? Well, I think dodge is kind of like universal. Not every single character has some sort of dodge or even mechanic to survive inside of their kit, right? Like, obviously, if we're like saying like, oh, well, maybe dodge isn't the best thing as Godku, I think I prefer like combo attack more, just so I can get the defense built up, so that way he can tank the normal attacks easier. Like, I already believe in him for dodging. That's fine. Eijo Godku, if you're like, oh, I want to maximize, again, just dodge, even though he already has like a monstrous amount of dodge, I think that's fine too. But there's just there's a lot of these characters actually that just don't have something to always comfortably live the super attacks, which is why I think dodge is still just king, unfortunately. Like, okay, let's say Cooler, right? Cooler's getting a super attack, and let's pretend that this super attack is going to kill him. What does he have that's protecting him? He has nothing. So if you get that dodge proc, it's gonna matter a lot more, right? Same thing for something like Birdku. If again he just doesn't have that, if he's not able to comfortably live that super attack, then he either has the revive, which obviously you would want to keep as long as possible, or you're gonna have the dodge. Same thing for something like Metal Cooler. If these characters can't live, then and they're not having like this proc, then I think like again just dodge is king. Versus almost every single unit that I just named right now has crit or like type effectiveness somewhere in their passive. You know, that's why I think dodge is overall a better thing. But it's like, again, it's a thing that it's just a case by case basis. Not every single character is going to want to use the same exact build as every other character, and it's a thing that it's just based off of what the character is trying to do. But I like crit. Sorry, not crit. I like dodge more than the others, because of the fact that it can save these characters that just don't have that survivability. AGL 16 and Mira would actually be a top 10, 15 TUR, and a great slot 1 if the Android team got proper buffs. Ideally, 3 units at Android 17 and 18 to float and consistently have super attack support up. We already have MVP 17, so that's 2 more units of that kind. And an Android 13 or a standalone Android that has tough as nails to link with 16 and have damage reduction, or sorry, while doing damage to compensate 16, not doing damage on non-active turns. I mean, the thing is, like, okay, 16 in my head is like the same thing as like Super Saiyan 3 Diamond Vegeta, where the reason why I feel like this character kind of sucks right now is because of the fact that despite him having guard, despite him having the 60% damage reduction in slot 1, it doesn't matter because he's dying so much to these super attacks, right? But imagine that GDC is coming up, right? We can theorize that, or a lot of people have been saying that it's going to be Namek Saga into Android Cell Saga into Majin Buu Saga, right? And that it's going to be a 3-part celebration because of the fact that the devs have said that this is going to be the biggest GDC of all time, right? So because of that, let's say that Cell comes out and he's like, I give 10% damage reduction support to all Android category allies. Then this guy's going to look good. because of the fact that he could now start living some of these super attacks that he wasn't supposed to. But he's literally the same thing as Diamond Vegeta, I feel like, where he just needs that help in order to look good. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't count him out just because we counted Daima 3 Vegeta out, and then look what happened to him. I think Daima Vegeta got much bigger help though, because of the fact that he already had 90% damage reduction, which made it where he comfortably lived a lot of this stuff turn 1 regardless. But then Daima 4Ku comes out and is like, I'm giving you 4% damage reduction, and then the other Daima 4Ku, if you're running that, is making it where it's 8% damage reduction. And then if you're running Daima Vegeta, then this guy is getting guard as well. So it's like you're getting 70% damage reduction plus guard versus 16, who as of right now only has, of course, the guard and the 60% damage reduction. So it's like, I think that he would just need to get something like that in order to look good. But it has to be some monstrous like damage reduction support, in my opinion, because without it, I don't see him being like an actual crazy, like, even if it's just like defense support, I don't think it's gonna be crazy for this guy still. Resetting a rotation is a loss. You can make all the justifications, no, but I got a double lead, no, we don't have attempt limits, or but it's boring if I don't get the rotation. And fine, I'm not saying you can't. What I'm saying is that when we are rating units and teams, cases like having a double lead on turn 1 or a unit in slot 7 must be considered. If your team constantly needs to reset to perform well, then your team isn't consistent. Every reset is a game over. It's a loss. You're just cherry picking the best case scenarios to glaze a team and a unit. It depends, because like, on one hand, I agree that it doesn't make a team consistent, but at the same time, it's like we can't act like some of these rotations being in the way that they are isn't just fucking horrible, right? Like, let's pretend that you're running, again, something like the Daima team, right? Let me just go over to it real quick. Let's pretend that you're running the Daima team. You're like, okay, I want my Daima team to be awesome and cool, so I'm gonna run STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm gonna run Tech Daima Vegeta. I'm gonna run Glorio. I'm gonna run Goma. I'm gonna run Tech Super Saiyan 4 Daima Mini Goku, and then I don't know, I'm gonna run like Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. If you got STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Tech Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and the other Daima 4Ku on rotation 1, and then rotation 2, you got something like the Daima 4Ku, the mini Daima 4Ku, then also the Piccolo, and then you also got like the Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. Like the rotations can still fuck you over, you know? Like you're expecting that you're wanting to spread out at least some of these characters, so that way you can set up some of the rotations. But it's like, if, or even if like rotation 1, you get Daima 3 Vegeta, so then you know for a fact that he's gonna die on turn 3 because of the fact that he's not getting the guard from Daima 3 adult Vegeta or regular Vegeta. Then it's like, yeah, like the rotations can just fuck you up sometimes. But I also get it where it's like, oh, if you want to say that it's lost, and yeah, but Dokkan's an RNG game. Like, I don't know. If you are someone that doesn't grind the Whis event 24/7 or likes to min-max all their equips would be better put to use on competitive EZA's banner units, aka units that don't have unique equipments, since most premium units have unique equipments, are still very good equips, especially the bronze and silver. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a person who goes like 20 times out of my way to do god level intense or like the Whis event. I'm not doing this like 30,000 times a day like how some other people are. I genuinely, at this point, will just put the equipment that are like exclusive to the character. Like I understand if maybe that's not the best thing because you're like, oh, you're losing like these small stats, but to me it's like you're losing such a small amount of stats that most likely would not have mattered anyways, in the grand scheme of things. So it's like I would rather take the equipments that I do have and yeah, just put it into a better unit for sure. I think that's a reasonable take. I don't like it's crazy. I I'm the Godku guy. I love Godku, but I can't defend this, man. I just can't. I actually just can't. Cause it's just like Deborah is like he's actually one of the best characters of all time. Genuinely. He just stacks so much defense. He's doing so much attack. His uh active skill is doing so much damage. He's again just getting even more defense from that. He's comfortably living like every single normal past turn one, and his turn one is the only turn that I feel like just doesn't do that much damage. But he like he's a monster. He truly is. It's insanely crazy to think that Godku, or to say that Godku is better. They both have team protector mechanics. And like Godku obviously has the revive, and Deborah has the he has the directing attacks towards the character. So like in a sense it's the same thing, but like I can't say it. I gotta go on. I can't. This was the last take that I saw, by the way, that I wanted to make the video about, because it is something that I think is worth discussing. The gacha is actually good for the game. I agree it can be a mess when you get shafted and sometimes it's boring to grind, but it's also an incentive to play missions, build different teams, and the limitation of not having all the units. So we have to be more creative, and the pity system is good most of the time. The way that I kind of see it is gacha games at the end of the day are evil. And to say otherwise is wrong, right? That being said, it's just like something that I guess has to happen. I don't want to say it's a necessary evil in a sense, but it's like what game are you going to be able to play that's like completely free, that has had this much work put into it and be as good as it is, you know? Again, that's not to say that Dokkan is or that like a gacha is a good thing, I guess, but it's just something that has to exist in order for a game like Dokkan to exist. In order for Dokkan to get as many like updates as it has, in order for it to have an animation budget to begin with, in order for it to consistently be worked on as long as this game has, it has to be a gacha game. Like, it just has to. If you're like, oh, well, if they made it into like an actual game and then every character was just acquired and it was like $60 and then like, yeah, this and this and that, like, first off, no one's going to pay $60 for a mobile game. And the other thing is that all of those games will eventually run out and like die out because of it, right? And they will eventually stop getting work done. Like Kakarot, I'm assuming is probably like just done at this point. Xenoverse 2 is one of the only cases that I could think of where it's like this is just constantly getting updates and constantly getting updates, but it's just like you're having to pay hundreds of dollars over the course of years for the DLCs and updates in a sense anyways, right? I don't want to be like a defense for gachas. I just think that it's something that just has to exist in a sense, right? And I do like the pity system. I know that like we're gonna look at some of the quotes, and I think that some people did not like the pity system, but I like the pity system. Top 5 worst take of all time. Gacha elements are predatory and bad. Full stop. Again, it's not I don't want to say that it's a good thing, right? Like I think if you want to say like, oh, this is wrong because they're saying like gacha is actually good for the game, and I think gacha is evil and this and that, I'm not gonna disagree with you. But it's not a bad, it's not a wrong take. It's a take that, again, it's like Dokkan has to exist with gacha or it doesn't exist at all. That's just how it is. Also, Vector, you don't even play the game. Let me revise this take to something that's actually true. The gacha is actually the only reason Dokkan's entire modern identity exists. Frequent what if and or high quality animation sets. The best parts of modern Dokkan would be unsustainable without gacha. That's what I'm saying, right? This is what I mean. Is that it's like that. It's all fun and games until I say S here Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku is ass because he's at 55%. I can't tank anything and I won't be able to get dupes until later. Well, I'll read that in a second. A gacha system is never good for a game, and they exclusively make them worse. Damn near every gacha game that has ever existed would be infinitely better if it would be a normal game that you paid for one time. If a game can't exist without a gacha system, it shouldn't exist at all. That's fair. I think that's fair. Is there even a game like that exists? Like, what would you say is like a game that you paid one time for that is like in the same manner of Dokkan though? And the thing is that like at the end of the day, nothing is stopping you from being completely free to play and paying nothing for the game. And nothing is stopping you from playing like private servers and all that stuff. If you want to be able to see characters like that. At the end of the day though, you're putting money into a game that will die at one point. It's happened to like every single gacha game ever at this point. So anything that you pay is not yours. So I get it if you want to say it's like that. I have a love-hate relationship with the gacha system as a strict free-to-play with no money to spend. I hate getting shafted on units I really want, but at the same time, waiting for new releases wouldn't be as anticipating if you were guaranteed the new unit every time. I can see that, but the thing is that like it's the reason why I truly do think that if you're someone who is free to play, your best bet is obviously just like saving as much as you can before like worldwide downloads, well, I guess GDC now and anniversary and any of these dual Dokkan Fests, because those are where all the hypest moments are going to be inside of the game. And I think that if you only summon on those, that you probably could hit pity every single time and got every single new unit. But then it comes into the discussion of like, oh well, every single unit is not as good as 55% as like when it has multiple copies, and I get that. but I don't know. I feel like you could probably hit pity every single time if all you did was just summon on dual Dokkan Fests, or like, yeah, probably. I don't know. What's funny is I think people who are shitting on this tend to forget you can use items. Of course, if you want to challenge yourself by doing no item runs, by all means, go ahead. I do the same thing, but I don't think that makes the game predatory just because you can't no item a new mission without the new unit. Any free-to-play player that wants to clear missions for stones would just use items and call it a day. I play, which stages are free as fuck with the items without you using. I mean, like, dude, the Terrifying Conquerors mission is fucking ass though for that one stage. I played a few gachas and I can confidently say Dokkan is nowhere near close to a predatory game compared to most of them. There are times where they do things out of bad practice and should be called out for it, but I feel like a lot of the time the complaints are just silly. I would say so. I think I could, as a person who has played a couple of like gachas over the course of 5-10 years now. The thing is, right, there are so much worse examples of gachas, and I could definitely say that Dokkan is one of the better ones. Like Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, I remember that game. That is like, and it's funny because I still yearn for it, but that game genuinely had it where, like, if you wanted to get some of the upgrade sort of like events, and you didn't want to farm for specific characters, you could just you would have to pay, and that like event would open up. It's similar to Dokkan where it had like the different colors for different types. I think it was like red, blue, and green. It's been so long since I played it, but I do remember that the fact that like you had to pay if you wanted certain events to be open, and Dokkan's only method of that is the link level event, and even still, link leveling has gotten to the point where it's just not something you have to pay for unless you just genuinely do not want to grind that shit at all. Dokkan Day exists, which is like the freest thing for link leveling ever. You have it where they're constantly doing, during these bigger celebrations, the link events that have massive link rates and all that. So I would say Dokkan is also one of the better ones too. What was the take that was earlier though? My point was about how it's funny to have an incentive to play and limit to create our teams. It wasn't about the system at all. I could agree that this can lead some people towards gambling addiction. I didn't consider that when I made the tweet. I just say that it's bigger. I just say that it's better for most of us to have incentives to grind or make our box bigger. I would find it boring to have all the units and not feel any sense of collectionism. That's why I don't play on private servers. I'm the same exact way too. I don't play private servers though because almost 90% of the private servers have had or do still have like one person who is just like an insanely horrible human being on it at some point on the team, and it happens every single time. It's like it's I don't want to say like not desensitized, like demotivated me to play them, but it's just like it's gave me a bad stigma about them. Gachas are predatory and are made to make you spend money. While yes, they can be fun and good if you are free to play, but it can cause gambling problems. Summoning sucks in any gachas, full stop. It gave me like top 90 best OSCs ever, so that's fair. That's what I mean. Like this shit would not have as much quality in it if it wasn't for gacha games. But at the same time, we know that it's predatory because of the fact that it makes like billions of dollars every single fucking year. And they talk about how much millions and billions of dollars that they make every single quarter. So yes, it's evil, but the evil produces good things. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I wouldn't, again, like, I don't want to say, if I could rephrase this tweet I would say like Gacha is necessary for the game. I agree that it could be a mess and this is blah blah blah. I would say just put that Gacha as necessary. I would not say actually good for the game. Is how I would probably word it. But yeah. I think that this was like the infernal take that I was talking about. Either way though, let me just guys think. Thank you guys for watching. This takes like it's kind of funny. I half of these I just straight up don't agree with that. But either way though, let me just guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.